Health officials within the Centers for Disease Control are speaking out against the Trump administration's just botching of the coronavirus response, giving pretty damning quotes to CNN in this excellent report they did.
Multiple sources inside the Centers for Disease Control tell CNN they are convinced politics, not science, is the driving force behind the White House response to COVID-19, and those decisions have made the effects of the pandemic in the United States worse. CNN spoke to 6 current CDC staff members, and many of them say the White House has stifled the CDC in its coronavirus response, and at times limited its ability to provide health information to the public. One source telling CNN, "We are working under a black cloud of an administration that doesn't have our backs." Another saying, "We've been muzzled." One senior official inside the CDC says they told the White House about the virus's rapid spread across Europe, but that the White House was extremely focused on China and not wanting to anger Europe, even though that's where most of our cases were originally coming from.
Wow. I thought that last part about China was especially damning and interesting because it goes to show how they're not taking the science seriously and the actual threats of whether or not it was coming over from Europe, or it was, as seriously as the political perception that it's being tough on China, right? The virus originated there, the subsequent neoconservative war drum beating when it comes to talking about China, the really tough talk, but they weren't willing to take the necessary action when it came to Europe to make substantive changes that would have stopped the spread of the virus. It was all about going after China in their actions so that they could make this PR push. More on this very dense report from The Hill. The CDC had proposed a global advisory against air travel about a week before an alert was published in mid-March, according to documents obtained by CNN. This delay caused the U.S. to lose vital time to fight the pandemic as 66,000 European travelers entered American airports every day. The CDC was ready to issue the global advisory on March 5th, according to a document obtained by CNN that said it was cleared internally. But the alert wasn't made public until March 11th, on the same day President Trump announced restrictions on travel from several European countries the day before I was supposed to go on my vacation. Had to cancel. Anyway, the relationship worsened when CDC official Nancy Messonnier told the public that the pandemic's disruption to everyday life might be severe. Trump responded the next day by announcing Vice President Pence would lead the coronavirus task force. So they're covering up how long it took them to act. They were covering up where the virus was really coming into the United States from because it conflicted with their anti-China narrative. And the piece also talks about how the administration's efforts got in the way of their ability to get testing out in early February. In February. It's really important that these government officials are speaking out like this. Government officials who have no dog in the political fights. They just want to do their jobs. Centers for Disease Control. They want to control diseases. They're people who just want to do good. And they are outside of that political realm. They know what's a competent response and what isn't because they are living through it every day. And it's great that they're talking to the press about what an incompetent response is because it's clear that the Trump administration prioritized, as they always do, their political agenda and the Trump incorporated marketing of, in this instance, being anti-China, as opposed to taking the necessary steps to protect the virus. Perception is always, always the Trump administration's #1 priority, and they'll try to clean up the mess later with lies and obfuscation, but let's hope they can't get away with it this time.